I've been with the same promotions product company for years now. But I was experimenting, and the guy sent me like 10 pages, literally, of mugs that, like, without asking any questions about shape, size, anything like that. And that to me, and I told him, I said, this is not what I want from a promotions product company. I want 5 options that fit into what I'm talking about, and that's it. I'm not going to sift through 120 mugs,
right,
so that you don't have to sift through everything.
well,
So
you would have gone on the web and did it, right? I mean, if that's what the end result is, you would have done it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So asking open-ended questions about what I'm looking for and narrowing the scope to things that I can decide on, that's critical.
So if we're talking about if it's a mug or pin, whatever that item is, or shirt, when someone reaches out to you to call, what would be the question that would make you go, you know what, yeah, I want to talk to you about that?
I'll tell you the way that my guy did it. He went through a chamber directory, and all of the businesses that were participating in the next trade show that the chamber was having, he contacted all of them and asked them if they had their promotional products lined up for the trade show.
Right. Okay.
And I've been with them for probably 10 years.
So just
Yeah.
So-
it was timing, but the fact that he reached out to me, did that research, and already knew what he could do for me was really critical. And I've gotten great service from him ever since.
Well, I think in answer to your question, you didn't reach out to her, but if I'm going out and reaching out to, this is just me as a CPA, I've got a ton of questions I got to ask them before, we're going to call saying, well, how much do you charge for a tax return?
Right.
Well, I have to narrow it down that for your branding purposes, you've got, basically, I want to know if this person's asking questions to help narrow it down so that I don't have to wade through 120 pages of coffee mugs.
Right.
So that's something to look for.
So what I'm looking for is really not the sales process to get to. It's the impact, and I appreciate it because that's important. That part we do.
Yep.
Getting in to see the client isn't an issue. But what I'm trying to find is when we talk about branding is such a personal piece because it's your brand. You created it. If you own that business, when you grew it out, it's part of you. What is the things that if a person was standing in front of you talking about the brand would go, I gotta talk to this guy. What is it that would make that passion question that would make you go, I gotta talk to him about my brand? Is that a better way to word it for me?
Yes.
No?
How much you're interested in my business
Okay.
or pushing the solution.
For me, because what I do is not tangible.
Correct.
Except for the course. So understanding who I am and what I am, like I lived in Toronto, I wouldn't want to thumb drive with something, like who am I, and coming in and knowing just a little bit about me and what I am before you even come in. So I know you do blah, 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 and then ask you 20 questions to really get into who I am and what I'm trying to convey. It would be very important to me.
Okay.
So I don't have to re-explain myself a million times.
No, I appreciate that. That's true.
I would think maybe asking them what do you wish your brand did for you that's not doing now. I mean, like you're saying, it's a personal thing. You go in there and you say, hey, your brand doesn't do this, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? It's not it.
Right.
You're throwing salt on my baby.
Right. No, it's true. And sometimes that can be a win, or it can also push you out the door, right?
So are you actually trying to sell branding services, or are you just trying to sell products? Because what you're asking to me is two different things.
It is.
I need a brand, which I have. I don't need stuff, and I don't want it. And so,
Okay, so that's exactly what I want. Why?
why?
Yes. Because branding is the most important thing for your business to understand and for the public to know what you do. You're saying you don't need why, so I can understand.
She says she doesn't need stuff.
Right.
Stuff. Well, but I'm asking you, what is the difference between, because you're trying to sell branding as branding plus why do I need stuff? Why can't I just have a brand? What's insufficient about my brand? And are you trying to sell me branding, or are you trying to sell me stuff and branding, or are you doing branding constantly? Like, I don't really understand what you're doing when you're using the word.
Okay, so branding represents the image of whatever that is, your logo. is
Right.
your brand.
I
And
understand.
how you import that through to us, to your consumer, right? How are you impacting that? So when we come in, we're going to talk about it. It's funny, we're doing a plumbing company right now with us. They already have a logo. They already have the brand. But that isn't really, they put it together 10 years ago. That's what, it's not what they really wanted. So by sitting and talking to them, we can understand. And that's the reason I'm asking the question is how do I convince this person to, wait a minute, I need this. And you may not ever want it, but help them understand what branding is to help them
I just think
get
you
it.
need to clarify what it is you're doing. 'Cause I'm getting, like, you seem to have branding as this package, but branding could mean, like, I have a logo and I want to put it on stuff, but. Is that what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me translate.
Thank you. Take it out of blonde and put it into.
No, I have what you're saying. I'm.
No, I think where she's confused or where I would, if I was your salespeople, make the approach, is the first question, what is your branding strategy? Not do you have a brand, what is your brand? Because for her, and I'm just going to make up things,
That's
so,
fine.
you know, it's an online
Mhm.
social media. She maybe doesn't interact too much in the public, you know, as a person, so she doesn't want to wear a logo shirt.
Right.
And so it's all online and everything else. Where the plumber, they're in 10 houses a day.
Each industry is
20 people
different.
in the field, and they're, you know, walking around, it's a uniform mentality, you know that that's who the person is. So the questions that I would ask are, what are your branding strategies, and is wearables and items part of that strategy, and why not? And then you can start digging into how can, you know, logo shirts impact your brand. Instead of do you have a brand or what is your brand? How can these types of items, you know, for example, you know, you pick on this is a golf course.
Right.
But the reason I picked it off the shelf is because it wasn't, you know, I don't work for the golf course. So I don't want everyone across the room to see that this is a little different golf course. So I wanted a little subdued. You know, so for them selling it off the rack, that was their strategy.
Right.
You know, but you know, when
Which
I'm
is what I
wearing
said. I agree. Right.
and when I'm wearing my logo, yes, it's a little bit bolder and the contrasting colors so that it looks good and has a pop to it.
Right.
Because that's also part of the brand. So I think is that
Yeah, I
he's not really selling the brand.
It's-
But it
so-
sounds almost like you're trying to sell people branding. Like, you want to bring them in and you want to do a
No, no,
sit
no,
down, you
we're-
want to do
we're-
logo
so-
development.
We already sell, it's not the sales process we're asking for. What I was asking about is what, like you just said, branding isn't important to put it on stuff. But for me, perfect is what?
Because I'm online based, everything I do is online. It's in email, it's on social media, it's on whatever. So I need to brand myself on Twitter, Instagram, maybe if I worked for Google Plus, Facebook, Snapchat. Like, I need to brand myself there. But in terms of stuff, I don't have stuff. So if you can help me brand myself online, great. But me going and dropping off 10,000 pens doesn't have a return on investment for me.
Yeah, but what if you wore a shirt to a chamber event and 10 people that were in your room saw your shirt, asked you questions, signed up or
This
something?
could involve me joining the chamber.
Well,
Well, no, wait, there's other ways to do that, but does that, you see what you
I
just
see
talked
what
about?
you're saying, but then you've got to tell me how you're going to work with a micro business, because it's just me. So when you tell me
I
I got to
agree
order
with that.
27 shirts, I'm not going to do that. It's just me.
Right.
So I'm going to get an
It's
8
not
pack.
27 shirts to the members.
Okay, let me.
No, that's perfect. That's all I needed. And that's the part I want to know is that there are people out there that believe I don't need to put it on stuff. But the thing is now is to how do I sell to her? And that's the strategy that you've given me to put together.
And it's
Perfect. That's
not
what I said.
necessarily to sell their stuff, but just the branding itself.
Yep.
So you're not necessarily selling
Yep.
their stuff.
I mean, there's clients we walk into that, I'll be honest, same type of environment, they're web-based, they don't do any outside sales, they're in a room and they're all in t-shirts and jeans, they're never gonna buy a embroidered shirt, right? But it's funny, talking to them, strategizing, it may be a different thing. And maybe, and that's all I was asking for, which you did, and I appreciate it.
There you go.
So, like in that vein of like, you know, create the idea for the person. You know, like with my branding, you know, I'm telling people, you know, come out for a date night, parent-child lesson. You know, like, you got to giving people the options of what they're looking for. Like, cause she might not know that, like that. Like, you know, if you're gonna go out and you're gonna come to this, you wear a branded shirt and people automatically know what you do. It's not gonna be one thing you wear a branded shirt to. But or if you have whatever, like if you have like a metal can drawing with principal moms, and then that mom's gonna go to her school, and the other moms are gonna see it, and you know, if you give someone an idea like that, then you're like, maybe I could.
You can buy 5 of them instead of 50.
Yeah.
Well, you guys would just have to, you would have to show me the value in that, because like I'm sitting here with
That's our
all these
job.
people in branded
What
shirts.
you've given me is now the CNA question, is the customer needs analysis question
Right.
for you. And that's what I need. That's exactly
And I
what
need very
I'm
specific numbers, like so I'm like the old end of millennial. And so for me, you're gonna have to show me, like, 'cause I'm sitting here with all these people, and not to pick on any of you guys, but in your branded shirts, I have more of a social media presence than you. So you need to show me that showing up in my branded shirt is going to have any kind of an impact, and I want numbers.
I'm not saying maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should be. You're not like. I think you've got a different mindset. Whereas for you, for that type of thing, I would say it's not about getting stuff and just dropping off. Because for you, it's return on investment. You're thinking just leave behind. You've got to show people that her group wants this.
Right.
Whereas you're selling it to her for X, and the people in your club or your group, they may actually want it. What if one of your moms would walk around with a shirt that has your group, and then it's an identifier where it's like, oh, you're part of that group too. Where'd you get that shirt? Oh, you buy it online. I mean, and you're basically you're buying it from him for 15, but you're selling it to people because they have loyalty to your group.
Right.
And they want that.
The thing you have to do too is you have to convince me I want to sell stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you've led me into the next piece of this. So it's perfect. Go ahead. So one is one, it's you have to have the budget to do it. That's the biggest one. You have to have the money to do this. So all of this is irrelevant if the company doesn't have that outlay or availability directed to Able Moving and Storage. Spends millions of dollars in marketing. FH Furrow, he spends $2.5 million in marketing. He sells 25 air conditioner install systems, 10,000 or more every day. But everybody knows who he is, right? Marketing works. It's how, what we do is want to help you build the brand. My next question, because we're on, is really, what do you think about staff in uniform? So he was talking, he bought that shirt because it looked like this and that. What is, his is a name tag and a suit. I'm in a suit with a tie. What is a uniform staff, being your people yourself, where do you think that is today? What do you think it should be for banking?
I guess it depends on the bank. Most banks are still pretty conservative in their dress.
Right.
It goes to the culture of the bank, what they want to show to their clients.
In restaurants, restaurants are all wearing the same thing. I worked at a restaurant where we had uniforms for hostess, and that worked for a good time. There was no argument.
Right.
And then they just recently switched it where hostess can wear anything now. And suddenly it's more lax, and there's like jeans now and see-through shirts, and you're like, all right, hold on, let's go back to uniforms.
Well,
I mean, I'll give you two perspectives. You know, one, for me, I've always trained people to dress appropriately. So if I'm going to a bank as a potential client, or I'm going there, no, I don't think the staff should be wearing a logo on it. But they should have a logo portfolio.
Yep.
But if it's going to a golf tournament, I want everyone representing the company wearing the pullovers, you know, the shirts and the hats and everything representing the company. If you're at a trade show, if you're maybe at a large event like a chamber event or something where people see it that don't know. You don't necessarily have to have a conversation with someone to see the logos. But I'll give you another perspective. I have a client of mine that's a large custom high-end building. the salespeople are pushing back, especially the females, because they feel that they're being stifled as their creativity in their attire. Because it's all over the stuff. I mean, they got sweaters and vests and all kinds of things. But still, they're like,
Pigeonhole.
every day I have to wear this stuff. It's not.
And to the point of what she had said earlier about being a social market, it's almost marketing at that point versus having to buy stuff, right? And yeah, I get that she doesn't want to invest in things, but it's more or less, it's a gift. She can make it as a gift to her clients or whatever it may be. But it goes as simple as a business card. The business card is your brand. Like, from an IT company, we're not really giving out much stuff. I think it's about but the brand for me, being with Rhythmic, like people recognize my logo because I've gone to enough places to show it. But I literally have this name tag that I just printed and made. Like that's my branding piece right now. I don't have a T-shirt. And same thing with our offices are very lax. They're not going to make our guys wear these logos. But as far as being convinced to purchase them, we didn't want to purchase things, but we went to a trade show because we needed something to give out. Right? It could have been as simple as socks or whatever it may be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an investment of return, because the brand is your legacy. People remember that. They don't remember your face, but they'll remember the name.
Right. Or the logo, or that.
Logo,
right, exactly right.
And in regards to her situation, she doesn't necessarily have to buy 50,000 shirts or 50 shirts. She can buy 5 shirts and give it to her top leads or top moms in the group, and there you go. That's easy marketing, and that's where I think it'd be more convincing with the marketing factor. Is that something your company offered as far as the marketing?
Yep. That's why we built the sales first, because that's where it all comes from. The other side of it, that end result, to be honest with you, that's the easier piece. Because that's the behind the scenes, right? That's the, you take a logo and it's a circle with a star in it. Well, by the time you get done with it after you've met and gone through, it's a star with lines and a moon or whatever it comes out to, or a star with a palm tree, right? South Carolina. Whatever it may be, that's what we're going to do. So that part of it is the impact. But, talking about does ladies want to wear a guy uniform? And I mean, I've been out in the industry where they're wearing a man's shirt, and I'm like, why aren't you? Well, the owner doesn't want to spend the money to partner it with multiple items. He's trying to stick to one. So our model's a little different. Ours is, it doesn't matter if they buy a guy's shirt, a girl's shirt, a kid's shirt, a dog's shirt. It doesn't matter. What we embroider on, that all counts as the number. So we're able to impact them that way. But what the business has in it is the office environment, right? And then it also has the on the go or in the field or in the warehouse, what is that other environment, right? So that is there safety environment involved, high vis, FR, which is a fire retardant, something that would be like a flammable, somebody in the electrician or electrical field, or other markets that need that protection. What I'm trying to look for is, as we come in and we talk to clients about it, what's that importance? And I think you made a great statement, is that that's the things that you got to look at, is the dollars, is it comfortable, does it look like what's going to really take a brand? So here's one where it's the whole with the high vis, now this is an outside surveying, but it's the whole package. When you look at, you see one image, one brand, one color, it all ties together. That's branding. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. So as it comes together, it really pulls that image, and it's helping you get to that. Because I'll be honest, when you first talk, and it's a yellow shirt or a pink shirt, and that's where it starts, it may end up here. It may not. It may end up that it's shirt and tie, because that's the environment the owner wants, because he's dealing with more attorneys every day. This won't work with them. And that's the biggest thing. It's really understanding, and that's why we built it as sales first, because we really got to be able to understand our client that, hey, I'm not worried about branding. I'm worried about building my brand on the web. Well, how do you do that? Are you giving cards out to push them there? Or are you using AdWords? Are you doing, what are all of those other pieces? But at the end of the day, if they don't know your name, it's never going to go like this. It's building it, right? So that's kind of where, and then the uniform itself is really color coordinating. It's pulling that whole brain, and it does it. And you can see in some of the books there, it kind of shows some of the different strategies with it. us doing the custom side of it, we're able to, and I think this will kind of answer a little bit of it, is that we're really not salespeople, we're consultants. We come in and really understand what the business is, and that was the reason I was asking what branding is, and I think she made a great point, is to them, branding isn't important, it's how to get my name through other pieces. But again, what is that? Branding. So what's the design going to be? And I'll be honest, sometimes the design you have today, Starbucks has changed theirs, I think it's 8 or 9 times now, from the original to where they are today. Everybody know that? And you know what the first one, they don't even, I mean, she actually had breasts on the front of I don't know if anybody remembers the old logo. Manufacturing, when we go through the process, we make sure when we do it, it goes through the whole process so that your brand looks the way your expectation is before it ever hits. We're doing a Florida water treatment plant, and they wanted military type vests, like for fishing or hunting, where they have all these pouches for all of the different testing strips that they use, but they wanted it labeled and they wanted a high-vis thing on the back so it would reflect. And we had to go through 3 vests and 3 different ink colors before we accepted that it would be right for the client. Then we sent it to the client. Because at the end of the day, what they get is whose image? Ours. That's why I need to understand your expectation, because there's no way I could have that expectation but first. And that's why I really was driving into those type of questions. And then the last one's the delivery. How fast can we get it there? Because if you're into a trade show that's at Prince William and it's 2 weeks from now and we're in a 7 to 14 day turnaround, well, I better be able to get it there in a day so she has it before that event. And aligning it that way. Again, understanding, doing that consulting up front to know that's what it's needed. And then, you know, the last thing is when we talk about promotional, I go to what, a quarter up?
No, you go. Quick question. Something that I think would be helpful. This is something I did as an experience. I was trying to figure out, because the logo is very colorful, and then trying to look at how the shirts and the different things would be impacted the logo. So I was trying to do it online. So as a service or something for you to go into, and you don't even need to do like 20 shirts, but create some kind of, you know, just small patches of like 10 different colors. Print the logo or order the logo on those 10. And you throw that in front of them, you know, the real color, the real logo, and I say, okay, this, and this. I think that would be a helpful service to get. Because a lot of people are very visual, and looking at it online doesn't really cross.
And that's a great point. I actually have in the car. Is we swatch every T-shirt made. So if Comfort Color, anybody know what they are? T-shirts? Bella? No? Okay. My daughters do. They're always. They're like, Dad, you get Comfort Colors? I want those. You know. But how about North Face? Timberland. I have every swatch for them. So when you ask what is that color and what does that feel like, you're able to see it and touch it. So that's a little bit different than what you were talking about on the web. There are things that we already have. So each salesperson or each manager has the book that actually has all that. So when they go, hey, what's this T-shirt? It shows it. We have every T-shirt model for, especially T-shirts, that seems to be the big, and golf shirts are probably the 2 biggest sellers for clients to give out or to wear in environment, right? Trade shows, things like that. We stock those, we have a set stock for it, and we carry them so that the client can touch and feel, because that you can't do online. I don't know if you've ever bought something online, you get it in. I remember my first time I was a teenager and I bought online a gold, I don't know if you remember the gold nugget watch. It came in, it wasn't a gold nugget watch. And it broke my heart because I couldn't touch and feel. I bought it through a magazine and it came in and it wasn't what I expected. Problem is, it's what you ordered. Shame on me. So I don't want you to have that because, again, at the end of the day, it's my brand. It's what we do. So I want your expectation. If it's a heavy cotton like a Beefy Tee or a Comfort Color product, I want to make sure you get it. But you're going to pay for that. So again, it's budget. Is it fall into? And getting you what may be a better product for you for your budget so you can hit that. That's where the consultant comes in and helps you with it. Now, branding. What if you were at your office or you were out at a trade show or you were doing that, what would be a branded item that you received that you like getting?
So I think for branding items, it comes in 3 parts. There's a creative piece, like you said, you have a catchy logo, you put on a pin, right? And
Right.
you wear it on the jackets.
Okay.
Secondly, it's practical.
Uh-huh.
It could be a carabiner or a notepad or a ShamWow. Somebody gave me a ShamWow from a bake, actually. It was like, this is random. The bake has a ShamWow to give me. But it was practical. I still use it today.
Right.
And then lastly, it's strictly the visual. The actual, like, wearing a t-shirt that says written or something like that. So for our instance, when we actually had this conversation for our trade show, we didn't want to be the generic sunglasses, pens, t-shirts, socks, table. We ended up getting data blockers, because that's kind of what we do. We're a security company in IT. So we actually make data blockers for travelers, so that when you plug into a hotel that has that USB or an airport has USB, you can use our data blocker. And mind you, you probably never see this data blocker unless you're traveling, right? It's not something you carry around all day. But when they do see it, it's practical. It was good for a reason for that use. And honestly, a lot of people stole our data blockers. Nobody had data blockers on the trade show floor.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Never use a USB port anywhere. Bring your power plug. Never.
So relevance is the thing that you didn't say.
Right.
The word, just that term relevance, it was not in your original list, and that's critical.
Yeah.
Because that data blocker is so relevant to what you do that everyone will bring that right back to you.
And I had this conversation with my boss. I was like, oh, we should do sunglasses. I mean, we have a colorful thing, so we can make really cool notebooks. He's like, no, that's stupid. Like, we don't need that. Like, who's going to pull out our rhythmic notebook to write their life on it? Nobody, right? Nobody's going to take their shades off, because people got nicer shades than this, right? It was like a crappy pair of shades you lose in the lake. Yeah, exactly. So he was like, no, I want something people will use, whether they look at it. So like for me, I love carabiners for some reason. You can always use a carabiner. And then things for the car. Like it could be one of those little like cut seatbelt things to save your life. So that's practical, and I'll never think about it. But hey, try it at work where it saved my life. And one day I had a situation or something. So I would say practicality is the best for promotional products versus just the name putting it up there, being soft.
I agree.
I think that it goes back to the quality too, because I've had promotional products that looked really cool and that my guy didn't do, but they looked really cool and they seemed really cool, but they didn't work. They were these really cool chargers, and they looked great, but they didn't work at all. And so, and we paid a fortune for those things. Not Book on Wealth Management, a different organization. Because I would not let that happen. If it had been my responsibility, I would not.
That valve was still here, so it wasn't us.
It wasn't. It was another organization that I do stuff for, and someone else was put in charge of that particular business. My point is that it didn't work. It looked really good. It didn't work.
Packaging was great, image was good, but the product usage wasn't good.
Exactly.
Yep, no, I agree with you.
So the practicality as well as the quality is really important.
It's good that you mentioned that. I just went to a trade show and I had this company had really cool light bands that you could put around your bike, your dog, to just like reflect their safety. And I came home and I was like, oh cool, I got this new swag, and none of it worked. Oh great. That sucks.
Well, and I'll be honest, that promotional side of it, that's your supplier's mistake. Every item, and there's 2 softwares that they use to search the product for you. And you have to ask them, what rating is it? And they do it 5 stars. And say, I want 4 stars or higher. I don't want a product that isn't. And that's a guarantee, because that's the measure. They're doing it by dollar, and my reps aren't. I've locked it, and it has to be 4 stars or I will not sell it. I just won't. I've locked it out. So they can't, when they search, it's 4 stars or higher.
So when I do this, I start with the quality and then find the price.
Right. Because if you don't, I mean, I can get you a USB drive for $1, 8 gig for $1. I'll be honest, you'll be lucky if it lasts a week, and it's written and coded for Windows 98. So guess what? It's not going to work in the blue USB, which is what, 3.0. It won't even work. So that's the thing, but you got an 8 gig USB. You have to look at the small print. You have to look at it. When you go on their sites and it searches, look for 4-star, 5-star, whatever it may be. And they have to tell you, say, I want to see it.
So when you're talking about pens too, pens look so good online, but the ink matters and the stability of the pen matters when you're writing with it. So our pens are really nice and people really like them, and so they keep them long term. But if the ink is not like a gel ink or a wax ink, it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different feel. And the ones that they're making now that look like metal, but they're not, people would be so much better off just not using a pen that looks like metal, because if it doesn't have the weight, it just feels like a disappointment.
Mm-hmm. I don't use anything but a premium one. That's all I know. But I have not blocked it. But pens are a great point. Bic for a cheap pen is the only one I try to get a client to buy. They last long. Most servers, if you go to a restaurant, the little white clickies or the little green cap or white cap, blue cap, depending on what the brand image is, those are Bic pen. They work well. They last long. I mean, I don't know how many times it's in a restaurant. When you steal it and take it home, guess what? It works.
Yeah.
And it's 40 cents, 35 cents, under 80 cents, depending on how elaborate you make it. But when you're talking about a branded premium pen, until you get into that $3 to $5 range, you're really buying junk. It's just what it is. So you really have to look at, am I buying 25 really good pens, or am I buying 500 really cheap pens to put my name on? And again, I'll be honest, it's your pocketbook. And I'll be honest, most people don't want to spend the money. I'll be honest, they don't. So it's convincing them, hey, go a smaller run, test it out first and see. I've bought over my career 500 cheap China pens. I mean cheap. I don't think I paid 23 cents a piece. They would write my name, and then they wouldn't write anymore. They were junk. Now this is 20 years ago, but they were junk. So you don't know. We try to figure that out. That's why we look at every review on every product we use. So we actually get to even see the review of all of the people in our industry have written about the product, so that we know, hey, this had a problem. The person can't deliver on time. I'm staying away. We have that ability. We just have to work with it. What other items? I mean, is there's something that you guys seen that said, wow, if you tell somebody about that, and I love the power and the diffuser and making sure it doesn't get through, that's a great one. I don't think I've had anybody ask for that.
I just had a client send me, he's a privacy, IT privacy, and it's his logo, but it's camera block.
Yep, the little, yep.
It goes right over your
Yep, slides and his logo's on the slide. Yep. How about banking? What do you find that if somebody that you'd want to give out or receive, that would be?
We were actually just talking, we have tons of stuff that is very, very outdated. Our marketing department was just kind of reviewing that we need to get up with the times a little bit on that stuff.
We just got with Prince William Credit Union for that exact reason. They're wanting to redo everything they're doing. So
yeah,
no.
That's where we're at right now.
Thing is they buy in volume, you get it, and then you have to look through it.
As a banker who, by the way, sorry, I am wearing a logo.
Yep.
Sure. Nike.
Yeah.
We tend to buy our products based on what we're going for. So like when we're doing a dental program and we're going to do that, we'll have things that, such as teeth stress balls and eyeglass cleaners, things like that, because microfiber eyeglass, these are things people might keep.
Right.
And it will have your logo and your thumb on it. And probably keep about 6 of them. Just in case.
Yep. So it's really in our questioning, we're going to ask you, who are you marketing to? What impact? What trade shows do you go to? What environments like this do you go into that you want to represent your brand, or what point are you trying to get across? And that's the reason I ask, because there is, when I tell you, it's not 1,000 items, it's tens of thousands of items. And that one item is made by 30 to 100 different manufacturers. Come on. And then the last one is just real quick, I think we got 4 minutes, is really the slogan piece. And we're really fighting with this because my big thing is WIT. Anybody have an idea what that means? I've been using it since Marriott, so 30 years now.
Okay, tell us. This is fun.
Okay, so WIT is whatever it takes. And I used it on my servers, and we used to do a little ribbon that said WIT, and it would just hang on the server shirt off of their name badge. And we had waitress in training, we'd hear, and every new restaurant I went into, I'd write on the board and I'd ask. But it became my brand thing. I do a Mac, everywhere I go, I've done it. Every sales organization, I've used it. It's actually my screensaver on my computer. It's important to me because whatever I do, I want to make sure I do whatever it takes to win, to fix, to guarantee, to do whatever. And you can use that in anything you do. That's the piece I need here that Trident will represent. So that's what I'm looking for. What would be those 2 or 3 words that would go, whatever it takes. We're going to really do that impact to make it right for you, your company, your
Well, to
brand.
answer your own question, why don't you just say whatever it takes?
Trident, I think of Poseidon.
Right. It doesn't, in sales, whatever it takes makes sense, right? In serving, whatever it takes makes sense. It's what I'm going to do for you.
Yeah, but your company, try workwear, whatever it takes.
What do you think? I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't think it, which is really stupid. But I mean, is it, I'll be honest, that is on my boat. It's on my kids go, Dad, what are you going to name the boat? And they said, are you going to quit? And they did. So,
I mean, you can play on words with that, whatever it takes. It'd be powerful no matter what.
mm-hmm.
Promotion with us, I don't know, 3-letter slogan,
Right.
3-word slogan you're going for if you want it to stick with whatever it takes.
Build your brand. We build your brand.
I think whatever it takes is actually more good on it. I think it's powerful because if you think about it, if I see you wearing a shirt that says try to work with whatever it takes, if I see something that you see, it's like, okay, like I said, another
Right, and that's what we don't want.
Right.
So
Whatever it takes opens up the question. All right, are you going to beat the price? Or are you going to be better at this? It's going to give you the foot in to then have your consultative sales reps explore and earn the business. But it sort of opens up the question of whatever it takes.
What is that?
Maybe I give them a chance to look at what they have.
Anybody else?
I don't know why I picture a Target with my brand in it and then that Trident thing going to it. We nailed it.
Oh, we nailed it. That's cool.
Something just
We need
similar to
it.
that.
I mean, Trident is a strong logo
Try
in
it.
itself.
I mean, if you guys look, we've changed the logos 3 times in 6 months because I keep. If you look on the one red book, it's very light. It was when we were going more water or flow, and it just didn't have Trident's power. Even though it's water and even though it's added, it didn't have that impact. It didn't feel like it had. Same with branding. When I put it on a shirt and I put it on other things, it didn't have that power. So we changed it. So everything we did had a big change. So I'm done. This is it. But what I want to do is say thank you. You've given me a lot to think about and kind of go over. And if you guys don't mind, we pushed up Facebook, LinkedIn, Google just got uploaded. The other locations are still waiting for that approval process to get on. But I really appreciate the time. I was excited about doing it. It was just hoping I could get the time to do it. Thank you.
As our speaker, you get
An appropriate gift.
That's exactly right.
That is appropriate, and it's
It'll
functional.
go on my marketing show.
It's relevant. So we have all of August booked for speakers and coffee. We're now booking speakers for September. We have Ray next week, Eileen at the end of the month, and in between there is Paul Pearson. So that's the August lineup. So if you're looking to speak, just let me know.